Pass me the torch, still blazing. Try to break my will so I won't change. I'm changing too much, but I can't keep still. Fight for the ones who saved me. I'm bleeding red like the ones we're saving. I'm not breaking. You're catching up to the power I'm chasing.
Burn the earth tree to the ground.
May chaos take the world. May chaos take the world.
I'm a virus, tell me if you notice. Cause I might get blurry when the night gets on. 80 hours of out of focus. Top of this thorn in my side, I'm so gone. See me fly but never like to see me jet lagged. Hear the whisper on the wind, we're all alone. Bad fire on my back like a jetpack. Cause I don't wanna see the ash before it snows. Let me unravel. My arms are shattered, but I can't lose this battle. It's all I am. Pass me the torch, still blazing. Try to break my will so I won't change. I'm changing too much, but I can't keep still. Fight for the ones who save me. I'm bleeding red like the ones we're saving. I'm not breaking. You're catching up to the power I'm chasing. Fight the pain in the back of my eyes. They're fixed on the far off horizon. And if I'm gonna go up in flames, then at least I'll still be rising. I guess I'm caustic, but I don't really know.
And we are live! Hello, all you BC Wrestle Pod nerds out there. Welcome, Bienvenidos, and a good evening to everybody, whether you're on the West Coast, on the East Coast, or somewhere in between. And welcome to the rebranded NXT reviews. We are now officially known as NXTilosos Live, so it's about to get extra stylish and spicy up in here. I am so excited to be bringing NXT reviews back to the BC Wrestle Pod conglomeration, federation, whatever team noun you want to use for everything. And I'm super excited because a little bit of a backstory. I've been trying to work with said individual joining me this evening for the longest time. And it just so happened that through just talking over the last couple months, the stars aligned. You know, if you subscribe to a god, the wrestling gods, a deity, whatever, things lined up correctly. And I am super excited to introduce my co-host for these NXT reviews, Mr. Macho Rodriguez himself, or Macho for short. My friend, this has been a long time in the making, and I am so happy that it finally came together at the right time for the CW rebrand of NXT. So I'm super happy to have you here, my friend.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I definitely we've been talking over the past couple weeks. Pretty much every single time there is an NXT show, you and I talked throughout the entire show, and we just realized, hey man, let's put this to let's actually have this conversation live on air and be able to actually like give our thoughts, because I feel like a lot of the things we say back and forth to each other via text is they're pretty intriguing. Maybe people might want to hear it.
And so we decided to put our thoughts into the public atmosphere with this review. I'm super excited. This is going to be great. Me and Macho have a very interesting dynamic, but it's going to be a fun one for sure. And plus, you know, having two Latinos do NXT is always a plus too, because suck it, wrestling community. Just kidding. Not really. Anyways, so
Yep.
this is going to be fun. We are reviewing the second episode of the CW rebranded NXT, which took place Tuesday, October 8th, 2024, from the factory in St. Louis, Missouri, which is fantastic. There was a lot that went down this episode, too. And I was, by the end of this, Macho, and we'll talk about it as we go through, it did not feel like 2 hours. I was like, what? 2 hours are over already? Huh?
No.
I want more.
Yeah, this was a really well put together show, and I would immediately say, and this isn't hyperbole, this was a way better show than Monday Night Raw was. Like,
oh my gosh!
we
So
felt on Monday Night Raw, felt the third hour was missing. I was like, yo, we need that third hour back, because this was weird. Like, at one point I had tweeted, I was like, we're 42 minutes in, we've had one match, and it's been nothing but talking. The show doesn't have 3 hours anymore.
Yeah, it took.
Yeah, it was wild. It was one 14-minute match and 22 minutes of talking.
Yeah, Monday Night Raw was definitely weird with the pacing. They definitely need to figure it out for this whole. I'm pretty sure they will, but this first 2 hour Raw was definitely hit with, oh, we don't have a third hour to rely on, so we need to figure out how we're gonna do this. And unfortunately, we need to balance out how much minutes are done for wrestling and talking, because I mean, we'll talk about it this Sunday, but I felt bad for our 10 women tag match. I was like, that was not great. And I felt so bad. They were cut for time, and then the inside, because they were cut for time, I felt like everyone had to rush through what they wanted to do. And I'm like, most of the folks here in this match are pretty consummate professionals for the most part. But that's for a whole different discussion. Tonight, we're going to talk about NXT, who seem to get it together and to make sure that every minute of a 2 hour show counts. And that's exactly what we did to open the show, because we have our new NXT champion, Mr. Whoop That Trick himself, Trick Williams, comes out to the ring with this championship. I never get tired of Booker doing the ad-libs every time Trick comes in. It's just one of my favorite things on the planet.
He's brilliant.
He's so good.
The voice of NXT.
Oh, absolutely. And I love our NXT commentators. I think now that I've gotten used to having Booker there for the last year and a half or so, I was like, yeah, I can't imagine the show without Book now. And then him and Joseph, they have found a way to make it work. I love both of them. But Trick comes down to the ring. He talks about how NXT is in a new era and it's a whole new different ball game, and that he understands that now he's going to have a bunch of people in the locker room start coming after him for the championship. And we didn't have to wait long, because out in the rafters, we have, off of his win from a street fight last week, Mr. Wesley himself talk about how, you know, he's going to be coming after Trick. He's going to take the title from Trick. And then, just like his previous partner, you're going to leave him high and dry. And I was like, damn, we're already started. And this is like 7 minutes into the programming. We did not waste time. And then we got a wild Jey Uso sighting, because he just pops in through this crowd. And then, you know, the crowd does a Whoop That Trick yeet off. And, you know, that is how this little segment ends. So it's fantastic. Oh, no, we're running into technical problems. Oops. So while I wait for Macho's camera and whatnot to come back on, I will give my personal thoughts while we fix this. So I think that this was definitely a fun start. I mean, we get Trick Williams to hype up the crowd, and we also get him to do the thing. And also, it makes sense that Wesley would be coming after the title. I have said for a very long time that Wesley was overdue to come for the NXT championship. And still felt like he should have been the one to take it off Ilya Dragunov. But, we still had Carmella Hayes. We had Braun Breaker. But hey, in this new era of NXT, we have a whole bunch of challengers for that. And it's going to be a fantastic time for sure. So we're going to take a quick break and we are going to get everything all situated, but grab a snack and we'll be right back.
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Here we go.
The wrestling gods got mad at us because we're talking about NXT again. So I have no idea what's happening with everything. But yeah, so Macho, we had a Wesley and Trick Williams promo off with a random appearance from Jey Uso. How do we feel about our opening segment?
I mean, I thought it was really well done. I love the fact that Wesley is immediately involved in the world title picture because I have felt for a long time that he has been needed in the world title picture. He's an exceptional talent. I definitely enjoy what he does in and out of the ring. I love his promo ability. I feel like he's an underrated promo. People don't realize how good he can be. And I got to be honest with you, he comes off as like this pompous jerk. Like he really does come off that way. So it's like, all right, like I get that. You're a really good heel. And it's weird because he's been positioned as a face for so long. You almost forgot that he had that heel in him. And I love the inclusion of Jey Uso because Jey is the hottest thing right now. And why not bring the Intercontinental Champion? Why not bring it off? We get that immediate whoop that trick and yeet, interaction. And it's just a really good thing. I truly enjoyed what we were watching.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we'll talk about West when we get to that very end of the show because there's a big stipulation for next week with championship implications, which is great. But we waste no time in NXT because then we kick off with a 6-woman tag team match because we just go straight into the action where we have Kalani Jordan, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair taking on Fatal Attraction, which is Jasmine Nix, Fallon Henley, and JC Jane. But before we got into the match itself, we had Kalani, Jade, and Bianca in the ring with Trick and Jay, and all the champions held their titles up. Super fantastic as well. So I will give my thoughts first really quickly. That I thought this was a really, really fun match. And this is exactly what we needed in terms of everything. We had really good action. Kalani continues to be a star as our NXT North American champion. And, Jade and Bianca are putting in the work for this match. And then, of course, we have Fatal Influence, sorry. And they're good heels. I thought this was a fantastic opener as well. And so did my co-host, apparently. So we shall see what happens with all of that. So, once again, we're going to try to figure some stuff out because things are getting a little weird over here. So we will be right back.
Yeah. Here we go.
But I don't really notice what these toxins before they start exploding. Look my options, I only see the line. I don't cross it way too often. Let me unravel. My arms are shattered, but I can't lose this battle. It's all I am. Pass me the torch, still blazing. Try to break my will so I won't change. I'm changing too much, but I can't keep still. Fight for the ones who saved me. I'm bleeding red like the ones we're saving. I'm not breaking. Got catching up to the power I'm chasing. Pass me the torch, still blazing. Try to break my will so I won't change. I'm changing too much, but I can't keep still. Fight for the ones who saved me. I'm bleeding red like the ones we're saving. I'm not breaking. Got catching up to the power I'm chasing.
Burn the earth tree to the ground.
May chaos take the world. May chaos take the
I'm a
world.
virus, tell me if you notice. Cause I might get buried when the night gets long. 80 hours up out of focus. Top of this thorn in my side, I'm so gone. See me fly but never like to see me jet lagged. Hear the whisper on the wind, we're all alone. Bad fire on my back like a jetpack. Cause I don't wanna see the ash before it snows. Let me unravel. My arms are shattered, but I can't lose this battle. It's all I am. Pass me the torch, still blazing. Try to break my will so I won't change. I'm changing too much, but I can't keep still. Fight for the ones who saved me. I'm bleeding red like the ones we're saving. I'm not breaking. Got catching up to the power I'm chasing. Fight the pain in the back of my eyes. They're fixed on the far off horizon. And if I'm gonna go up in flames, then at least I'll still be rising. I guess I'm caustic, but I don't really notice what these toxins before they start exploding. Look my options, I only see the line. I don't cross it way too often. Let me unravel. My arms are shattered, but I can't lose this battle. It's all I am. Pass me the torch, still blazing. Try to break my will so I won't change. I'm changing too much, but I can't keep still. Fight for the ones who saved me. I'm bleeding red like the ones we're saving. I'm not breaking. Got catching up to the power I'm chasing. Pass me the torch, still blazing. Try to break my will so I won't change. I'm changing too much, but I can't keep still. Fight for the ones who saved me. I'm bleeding red like the ones we're saving. I'm not breaking. Got catching up to the power I'm chasing.
Burn the earth tree to the ground.
May chaos take the world. May chaos take the
I'm
world.
a virus, tell me if you notice. Cause I might get buried when the night gets long. 80 hours up out of focus. Top of this thorn in my side, I'm so gone. See me fly but never like to see me jet lagged. Hear the whisper on the wind, we're all alone. Bad fire on my back like a jetpack. Cause I don't wanna see the ash before it snows. Let me unravel. My me, the torch still blazing. Try to break my will so I won't change. I'm changing.
Yeah. Here we go.
Sometimes I love and I hate technology at the same time. I've diagnosed everything and everything is still going okay on my end and everything's going okay on your end. Wrestling gods, please just give me like 45 minutes. That's all I ask. So let's do a sound check. Macho, if you are still here with me, give me a yeah.
Yeet.
Cool. All right. At least that's working. So let's keep going before things go sideways once again. So, 6-woman
right,
tag
let's do
team
it.
match. Kalani, Jade, Bianca versus Fatal Influence. I thought it was a fantastic opener. Showcased everyone.
Agreed.
Macho, what are your thoughts?
I really enjoyed this match. I thought Kalani fits in really well with Bianca and Jade. Almost too well. Almost like she might. They might do her a service by getting that title off of her, giving it to like Lola and the main roster. She can be the third to this team because, man, I almost got the Freebirds vibe from them. Like the Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Like it felt really, really good and seamless with them. And obviously, Fatal Influence is great, but I think this was one of those moments where not all 6 women shined, 3 specific women shined.
I actually agree with you too. I really enjoyed this match, but that's because I'm a huge fan of Bianca, Jade, and Kalani as well. And of course, Fatal Influence, as much as I love those 3 girls, they were there to take the pin. And unfortunately, Jasmine Nix is going to be the one pin. But this was definitely a lot of fun. And in my opinion, it made a lot of sense for, Kalani, Jade, and Bianca to win. And they celebrate in the ring as this opening match comes to a close, which I thought was a lot of fun. We then get backstage. Nathan Frazier and Axiom are arguing about what they're going to do with their tag team match later this evening. And then they get some advice from Randall Keith Orton, as we call him. Randy Orton is there in the back getting ready for his match in the main event. And he tells Nathan that sometimes you just have to go to those dark places. And Nathan takes that as like, all right, now I know what I got to do for this match. And then just leaves poor Axiom behind. And Axiom's just like, I apologize for him. And he walks off. As much as I love Nathan and Axiom as a tag team, NXT has been playing this for a while. Will they, won't they break up? They're having problems. Then they're fine. They have problems again, but everything's fine. I'm not saying that they need to break up, but they can't, for me personally, they can't keep playing. We have problems, but then we're going to be okay. And like nothing happened. I'm like, we gotta figure out what we're doing. Cause you can't keep going back and forth. So, but we will talk more about them when we get to the match. Backstage,
well,
we
this
have
has always
Julia.
been a strange tag team to me.
Ooh. Do tell.
Not really fully been invested in them. So like when A-Town Down Under kind of threw the little rocks in their lake, I was like, yes, give me that. Give me these 2 in a feud. I think that would work really well.
Yeah, A-Town Down Under is perfect to be just your typical, well, they're heels, so throw some rocks into the lake for a little bit. I actually like that terminology. So we will talk more about them in the tag team match. Julia's backstage. Hi, Julia. I'm so happy you're here. And, after everything that went down last week, our backstage correspondent asks, so how are you going to deal with Cora and Roxanne? And then they both look off camera and says, Julia's saying, hello, old friend. And that already got me excited because I'm like, please let it be who I think it is. Please let it be who it is. Please, please. And thankfully, we didn't have to wait long because when we get back from commercial, Roxanne Perez kicks off this little segment by getting on the mic and talking about how she's going to continue to, and I quote, drink the tears of all the challengers in the locker room. I'm like, that's kind of vicious. I'm here for it. I'm happy that
Love it.
Roxanne is finally. I'm glad that Roxanne has found and come into her own a little bit more comfortably with this heel position, and now she's kind of settled in. Because at first I was like, I don't believe you as a heel, but now I'm like, all right, you're getting comfortable with it. I'm here for it. That's just me personally, because I'm also used to the ROH Roxanne, who is Roxy, who is very smiley and happy and bubbly. So it took me a little bit to get behind the heel character, but I'm glad I did. And I think beating Lyra at Deliver earlier this year for me solidified as like, all right, I'm here for this. And then of course, Cora Jade. I've missed her so much. I love Cora. I think she's fantastic. But she and Roxanne go back and forth. They talk about everything. Then Julia comes out. Cora teases for Julia to get into the ring. And Macho, we got the debut on television in person on the NXT stadium of Miss Stephanie Verker. Ah! I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a spectacular entrance. I love the way Julia, I gotta be honest, like Julia, I know she's Japanese, but she reminds me so much of the Puerto Rican women I grew up with, because only a Puerto Rican woman in my lifetime can give you every
Sorry. Just Stephanie. I love Stephanie so much.
Yeah, she just comes out. She looks like $1,000,000. They go in there, and I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if the women's division is fully prepared for someone like Julia, because she does not work this easygoing WWE style. Even when she worked Roxanne, there were moments where she was hitting her with some snug shots. And I'm going to make a comparison to somebody on the main roster. She kind of hits like Sheamus. When you watch her nailing you, you can hear it. She's not slapping legs. She's not slapping body parts. When she hits her forearm on you, it is just skin to skin, and it feels like a clap. It sounds like a real clap. Like, I could see the way she was smacking Roxanne around last week, and I was like, oh man, this is going to play, because her style, and I know it's not a popular choice, but her style is going to mesh so well the first time she works Shayna. That I feel like that's going to be a match that people don't even know that they want yet. But Stephanie Verker can work with anybody. She can work with anybody, and I'm excited. I just want these girls in the main roster, because I need these two to work Asuka. I need it.
Oh, that is on my list of matches that I need to see, since we got reports they were joining. And we're going to talk about the third international woman that is about to be making a name for herself down in NXT with another killer vignette later in the show. But Julia and Stephanie clear house. They both hold the championship. I would love this to be a tag team match, which then turns into a fatal four-way. This match is going to roll. I'm so excited. It's going to be great. So backstage, no quarter catch crew. Charlie Dempsey has a mustache now, apparently. Okay, Macho, so there is a thing here at BC WrestlePod from the previous iteration of our NXT reviews. One of our previous hosts loves to do this to irk me and Will, but Lexis King's beard, man, I'm like,
I love it. I wish I could pull it off.
I swear, if you do that, we can't be friends anymore. I'm just kidding. I'm like,
it looks so dope. Like and the thing is, because like in the like beard world, and like the way it's set up, you could tell that it's being filled in. Like so it's being trimmed to that specific, but then they fill it up. They put it in filler, and that's why it looks so like dark. And he is his father's son. His father was a very, very unique worker, and only Brian Pillman could pull off Brian Pillman stuff. And only Brian Pillman could pull off the loose cannon. And what we're watching with Lexis King is we're watching him do a character that only him could pull off. But I'm telling you, he's here to stay. And the reason I know he's here to stay is because Punk went on screen with him. That to me was a huge indicator that they have full faith in this kid. And I'm excited for it. I love it. And the beard thing, I'm telling you right now, we've seen a t-shirt say respect the beard for Daniel Bryan. I would not be surprised if we have a t-shirt that has the silhouette of his beard on it. This kid's going to sell massive merch. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good. I love the uniqueness of him. I don't like that Willy Wonka has a mustache now. Don't like that.
Okay, that's the other
I thought
thing
he was going to
too.
go up and join Imperium.
Oh my gosh, Charlie Dempsey, I want to love you, but we gotta get rid of the mustache. That is no. But Charlie Dempsey tells Alexis King, "Hey, if you want to beat Oro Mensah, this is a type of match you can do." And so Alexis asked for said rule set, and that's where we end that. So Oro and Lexus are not done with their feud, so it looks like it's going to be continuing in some capacity over the next couple of weeks. Then, color me surprised, because I was not expecting the outcome of this next match, but we have an NXT North American Championship match where the Don of NXT, Mr. Tony D'Angelo, taking on Oba Femi. And on behalf of all the Oba feminists out there, the reign of our Nigerian king has come to an end, because spoiler alert, Tony D'Angelo picks up the win and is your new NXT North American champion. I actually like this match a lot. And, you know, I'm a sucker for very close, you know, calls. And again, I know I'm basic in saying that, but I thought this was fantastic. And I'm just like, oh yeah, Oba, this is going to be a good match, but Oba's going to retain. And then as we got closer and closer to the finish, I'm like, wait a minute. Tony is actually getting, you know, things in. He is our underdog here. I'm like, no, they won't do what they did. And sure enough, they gave the title to Tony. So Tony is your new NXT North American champion. Macho, the fall of the Nigerian king has finally come upon us. I did not think we would get here this soon into the rebrand. Well, how do you feel about the match itself and everything around it?
The match was really good. Great professional wrestling by both men. I was very, very upset with the ending. I thought any other worker, like if Tony D'Angelo beats anybody that way for the title, it works. I'm excited. I'm happy. I just made a video about this the other day. Oba Femi is a monster. And wrestling is lacking monsters. They are lacking guys that work like him, that are intimidating like him, that are dominant like him. And I really don't understand. I wanted him to drop that championship like Shane Douglas style, like Asuka style, like nobody can beat me, take it away from me. I'm going after the world title, or I'm moving to the main roster. I did not want him to lose to Tony. That's just my own personal gripe. I don't know. I feel like Tony is a caricature. He's not really like, I just don't view him as a champ. I didn't view him as the Heritage Cup champ. Like, he's just not that for me. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like the whole group, it reminds me of the Deuces from SmackDown years ago. Like, it's just like, you know, like all they're missing is Cherry. That's it. Where's the roller skates? That's it. That's all we're missing.
Yeah, so I will agree. I enjoyed the match itself, and I mean, I've grown to like Tony's character and him as a wrestler. But yeah, I will say I docked off points because I don't like roll-ups like that as ways to win. I feel that should be like a last resort if you are getting the piss beat out of you. And I'm like, you have nothing else in the tank, so just grab with what you can. Yes, Oba is a monster, and Tony was throwing everything that he could, but I feel that the kind of finish is unwarranted for just a regular style championship match. Now, had this been like last man standing, street fight, any crazy stipulation where no matter what each other tried, then we go down to like the bare minimum basics because now everybody's running out of gas in the tank, then I've been like, okay, makes sense. But for me, not a regular championship match where it's just a straight up one-on-one. And that's a little weird to me.
Yeah.
Again, I view wrestling in a very weird light because I put a storytelling and director lens on these. I was like, there's got to be character motivation. And the scene that we're watching needs to make sense to me. Tony and Oba could have gone like 10, 15 more minutes. And then if we got that finish, then I would understand. Cause I was like, wow, we've almost hit half an hour. Everybody's almost gassed. Like they threw everything they could. Now it makes sense, but not this way. I don't know. I'm a little bit off my rocker, but that's okay. But we get it.
Yeah.
We're going to get a championship celebration next week with Tony and the crew. So we'll see if Oba gets a rematch at Halloween Havoc, which would be fantastic because a certain co-host in this review is planning to be there live. I'm jealous. FaceTime me. Anyways. But we get a recap of everything that went down backstage last week after NXT went off the air, where Lola Vice and Jada Parker were about to throw blows. And I was just like, yes, God. Thank you, wrestling gods in heaven, because Lola Vice and Jada Parker. That is all. Anyways, I love those two. They're fantastic. But then it cuts into Ava talking to Lola Vice because Lola Vice wants to put her hands on Jada Parker for leaving the match last week. And then we also get a return of Miss Nikita Lyons coming in with the thickness because we're down with the thickness, apparently. And her and Lola go back and forth. I cracked up at Nikita's line. You need to go touch grass or something because you are too hyped.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? I'm like, nope, that makes sense.
Nikita's definitely there for a specific demographic. When I watch her, I don't know. I guess I just kind of don't view her as someone to be taken completely seriously in the women's division. I think she's there for what she's there for. And you could tell she's kind of like I think what they want to use her as is like a Rob Van Dam of the women's division. The difference was RVD was a legend. She still has yet to be that. But I can tell based on her finisher that she's fans love her. They're excited about her. Male fans love her a lot. And, for me, like, past that point in professional wrestling, like I don't watch wrestling for to look at women anymore. Like we've had that. I want to see them just be athletes. Kelsey Plum once said this for the Las Vegas Aces. She's a shooting for the Las Vegas Aces. She actually said, "Don't come support me. Come watch me hoop." That's exactly how I feel about these women. Like, let's stop going there to watch them, so we can have alone bathroom time later. Let's go watch them because a lot of these women are better than some of the men that are performing right now. You know what I mean? So
right. And, I kind of feel that way with Lola because when she first debuted on the screen, when she was with Elektra Lopez, when Elektra was down in NXT, I was like, I need a little more from Lola. But now I've become a full fan of her and I support her. And honestly, I love Lola very much. I think if she has the correct career course, I would love to see her kind of become maybe depending on her skill set. I would love to see another Shayna Baszler-esque. It was like MMA fighter turned wrestler, but let it be a success story. I love Shayna, but she's still not getting. Yeah, but that's a whole different conversation. And honestly, her match at Heatwave against Roxanne made me be like, all right, I'm fully on the Lola Vice bandwagon. I think this girl has the potential and I am going to support her, buy her merch, all that stuff. Because I think there's a lot of potential for her. But her and Nikita Lyons are about to throw down next week on NXT. So we'll see what comes of that. And if Miss Jada Parker is going to be getting herself involved in that whatsoever. Which then leads us into our second championship match that we alluded to earlier for the NXT Tag Team Championship. We have A-Town Down Under as the challengers taking on Fraxium, which is Nathan Frazier and Axiom are champs. I thought this match was good. Again, this is like if I'm ranking Axiom and Nathan Frazier's championship title matches over the last couple months, this is towards like maybe the lower end top of my list or whatever. But I still thought it was great. And honestly, I'm just like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I was like, you know what? A-Town Down Under actually didn't do bad for me. I was like, this is pretty decent. Austin Theory, you didn't get on my nerves tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean...
But let's be real. There was no way they were winning.
No, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fan of Theory uh in the slightest, but I don't know. I feel like they're just there. They're like La Resistance. Like they'll get a tag team title reign, but I don't even think I really think that Grayson Waller has been he's just hit a really bad rough patch. Like even like the Grayson Waller from NXT, that guy's gone. I haven't seen that. I need that back. I don't know if maybe Shawn Michaels needs to take him back under his wing or something, but that guy's gone, and I don't see it. Even in his work doesn't even look the way it used to. I was excited to watch Grayson Waller work. I was excited to watch him like perform. I knew if inevitably he was going to have to change his finisher because that's not sustainable through like a 15-year career, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess these four, they just didn't really do it for me. This was actually my least favorite match of the evening.
Yeah, that's fair. And I will say, I kind of agree with you too, because I feel like the fire from Grayson Waller has kind of dimmed a little bit since coming to main
Yeah.
roster. Because 2 years ago, I was yelling and screaming for Johnny Gargano to whoop his butt during that unsanctioned match at Stand and Deliver at SoFi. And that was when Grayson Waller was still in NXT. And then thankfully nothing bad happened. But when he dived off that ladder at Great American Bash, and I thought he snapped his arm in half upon impact in like that 5-way ladder match for the NXT North American Championship, I'm like, oh gosh. All right, Grayson, I see you. But
Yeah.
I hate when these wrestlers are heels just to be heels. And you're right, it's like La Resistance. I'm like, they're gonna get a title opportunity, but like, let's be real, they're not doing anything with them right at all. So
I mean, yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. Like, I just don't see what the specialness of it, and I think it's just kind of like it's lost the luster. That's what I feel like. Yeah,
yeah.
but I was
So
excited for the next moment.
okay, listen, as somebody who is always hashtag Team Melanin up in here, because backstage, Kalani, Bianca, and Jade, I kind of threw everything out of order because I hate when NXT does this. Is like we get an entrance and then we get a backstage segment and then we get an entrance. I'm like, NXT,
Yep.
we need to stop doing that. But Kalani, Bianca, and Jade are walking backstage celebrating their victory. Kalani says that as I love you having you girls here. It was great. But y'all got business on the main roster and I'm gonna hold it down here. I was like, okay, cool. So leave the door open, but Kalani is going to, fend for herself, which as champion she should. But then my other two favorite melanated sisters walk into the building, Miss Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, mockingly congratulate. Jade was ready to throw hands, which I loved. And you know what? Bianca lays down the challenge. It's like, Jade and Bianca lay down the challenge. We heard that you were talking smack on the Twitter. So if you think you big and bad, how about you come to our house on SmackDown and we're going to have this tag team title match? So it seems we're getting Bianca and Jade versus Jakara and Lash on SmackDown this Friday, question mark. But you know what? I think
Love
it's
it.
fantastic.
Yeah, let's do it.
I have become such a big fan of, Metaphor in general with all four of them, but Lash and Jakara have grown on me. And you know what? When they faced the Unholy Union, and what was it, like 2 or 3 months ago for those tag titles, I was like, all right, these girls are ready for tag team action. And to work with Bianca and Jade in this match, oh my gosh, I'm jealous. Like I think this is gonna be a fun match. It's gonna be great for sure. But yes, hashtag Team Melanin in this household.
I need to say this. I'm a massive Bianca Belair fan. I'm a big fan. I feel like the new regime has really hurt her because I feel like she's not in the right position she should be. And I feel like I said this yesterday, Rhea Ripley is the most important woman in the in the women's division. But the previous regime, for all of his faults, he saw what the rest of the world sees, that Bianca is a superstar and she should be treated as such. She was slowly etching her name into that Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair stratosphere. And that is a really hard realm to reach. and I feel like I don't know if you're a fan. Like that's what he was. Like he wasn't even the assistant manager. He was the assistant to the regional manager. That's what these titles are. These titles forced two people to walk out. Like they've never been treated with respect, with love, and that's you have these women in here. But what I will say is what I noticed yesterday, I really hope people are paying attention to, and that is the confidence that exudes from Jade Cargill. The way she commands the screen, the way she, like, I don't know if you've noticed this over the past month. She leads the promos. She is the first one to talk. She always says the most interesting thing. And she's the one that gets me fired up. Like, it's like, yeah, man, when you talk, I listen. You know, like when Big Mama talks, we listen. Like, that's exactly how I feel. And I'm excited. I think the both of these two are amazing together. And I can't wait till they actually work each other because I want all of that. I want that one-on-one. I want those promos. I want a lengthy. I don't want a one match. This better be like a 6-month feud. They better turn this shit into Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. Like, I want this as a forever feud.
Right. Oh, absolutely. For sure. I'm super excited for it as well. So we're getting Lash and Chikara versus Bianca and Jade on SmackDown, which has me excited. So then we get a recap promo courtesy of, insurance, because we have the Geico recap, or progressive recap, I should say, of everything that has transpired with Ridge Holland and Chase U. Ridge in this pre-taped video promo is going back and forth with voice over and video from Riley Osborne and Thea Hale, which then leads into a live backstage promo in which Ridge Holland, you know what? We knew the turn was coming. We all saw it coming a mile away. Once Ridge joined Chase U, it was only a matter of time. And despite my ups and downs with him, I feel for me, this is like, all right, now I can start to see Ridge as an actual heel now. Like, this promo is the start of that. And then, of course, Riley jumps in to be the baby face to brawl with, Ridge Holland. So we're getting Ridge and Riley in some capacity. I don't know why, but I want Thea to be the one that is the downfall of Ridge Holland. I want to see Thea kick Ridge's ass. Don't ask me why. I want to see her kick his ass, which would be hilarious. But
wow, we are so on opposite sides. I want Thea to join him. I want her
also,
to
I'm kind of
listen. I want her to betray the Wish version of Mean Street Posse because I feel like Thea and Ridge can be magic together. Like when I watch just the way they interact, and don't forget they had that connection. They had that friendship, and I think that this is exactly what is going to happen. I'm hoping, I'm praying this is what we get because I've never been a fan of Chase U, but I love the inclusion of Ridge. I definitely love the fact that he's been given another opportunity, and I know Big E's a big part of him getting another opportunity and stuff like that. And I actually, when he broke the trophy, when he stepped on the trophy, that promo is what sold me, where I was like, oh yeah, this guy's scary. Yeah, just don't do any overhead belly to belly suplexes and we're good.
So, Macho, I'll let you in on a little secret. So the last NXT crew that we had here earlier this year, and listen, I would love for Thea to kick Ridge's ass, but also I am here for Thea going dark mode and fully joining Ridge too. Because one of the interesting dynamics that I loved and that the previous team loved is that we loved the relation, like brother-sister dynamic of Ridge and Thea, because when Ridge was more face, looks after Thea, protects her. Can still be that way, but now it's now it would be in a very like, oh, this is the antagonist of a video game, like the pair that we have, which is going to be fantastic. So I'm cool either way, but Thea is key to this. Shawn Michaels, don't mess it up. Like Thea is the key to this, and I'm excited to see what comes from it. Alrighty, so I want to preface by saying this. For those of you that believe hip hop does not have a place in wrestling, to 9 out of 10 times, I would disagree with you because I feel that, hip hop and rock do have places when it comes to wrestling. We literally had a whole entire wrestler drop a rap album that went #1 when it released. So let's not play that game.
Absolutely. Yep.
I will say this, Miss Sexy Red, like, I don't want to bash you, but girl, I've said it. And, in my line of work, I work with certain age demographics, so I'm not bashing them. But Miss Sexy Red, you are not for me. I was like, this was, I never have liked live performances in the 2020 era of wrestling in general because they never go well. And this is an example of it. And again, nothing against Sexy Red. Get your coin, girl. Like, I'm here for the hustle. I like you as like a character that is running through NXT from time to time. But this performance was not it. I didn't like this, Macho. I didn't like this. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but thank God Ethan Page interrupts it. Which, Ethan is like, I want a
Ethan
rematch.
Page is perfect.
Oh, Ethan Page is fantastic. Hold up. Hi, Will. Yes, I appreciate you. That's one of our other co-hosts who I will be seeing a little bit later this evening for CMLL. So it's going to be a fun time. But back to Ethan Page.
Nice.
Ethan Page, thank you for interrupting this. And then, Ethan Page does what Ethan Page does as a heel. He whines and complains, which is perfect for his character. All Ego wants a rematch. And by George, he's going to get it. And then, because him and Javon Evans also have beef too, which they've had beef since Heatwave. Javon comes out to kind of defend Sexy Red in a way. Ethan tries to brawl with him. Javon, gets the upper hand to a certain extent and throws Ethan Page out of the ring. Cool. Yeah. Ethan Page is so good. Macho, I love All Ego.
Yeah, he has definitely been given the proper stuff to succeed in NXT. If you listen to his Chris Van Fleet interview, he was so gracious and humble. And when he was asked by Chris Van Fleet how this has been successful, he said they just gave him a chance. And that's all he needed. He just needed a chance. And that's what HBK said he was going to do to him. He was going to give him a chance. He saw something in him. It worked really well. It helped get Trick Williams over even more. And yesterday, I felt that segment with Sexy Red was exactly what it was the last time that she was on, which was just lackluster. It wasn't anything that I was like, okay, like, I get it. Like, yeah, you're cool. You're bringing over like a different fan base and stuff. But he came out and he saved the segment. And then Javon kind of like, beating him down, taking his glasses, all that stuff. Like, everything works out. Like, Ethan he's perfect as a heel. He's perfect as that sniveling, runaway. Like, he's very much this era's version of that, like, of the Miz from that we had years ago.
100% agree. So then we alluded to her earlier, but we get a second different vignette for doesn't show her face, but she's beating girls up as they try to take her down. But we get the second vignette for Miss Delta. And when she makes her way to NXT, look, I'm a big fan of a lot of the women on the main roster. And I think that there's a lot of great women's talents in other promotions. But when I tell you, when Delta makes her on-screen debut, like in the ring, in the building, I'm going to be honest with you, Macho. This women's roster is about to feed the children, as the kids say, for however long we get all these women. Because this women's roster, with what we have now is fantastic. And then it's about to be another level because all these women are about to put in work. Ooh, I'm so excited for Delta.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. She's going to be a great addition to the roster. I'm definitely looking forward to it based on the fact that, like, I think we might actually have a real rivalry over who has a better roster, the women on the main roster or the NXT women's roster. And I mean, wow, it's pretty untouchable right now. WWE has made it very clear they have positioned the women to be super successful, and this is great because we're talking about all these new additions, and the best part about a new addition is fantasy booking them working people that are already with the company. To watch these three come in that are stars in their own right, that are coming that are going to work Charlotte, Bailey, Becky, Asuka, Kyrie, Jade, Bianca, Alexa when she comes back. Like all of these like phenomenal, talented. It's definitely going to be one of those like special times to be a wrestling fan.
I am so excited. So from here, we get our bumpers for next week. So we get a couple matches for next week, which should be fun. Then we get into our main event, Mr. Javon Evans taking on Randy Orton in his backyard of St. Louis, Missouri. I will say, I knew what this match was going to be. Listen, and Macho might get mad at me for saying this, but I love me some bouncy wrestling. I love Javon's bouncy style, but I knew this match was for Randy to win. You can't have the Viper lose. There's no way. And you know what, though? I will say, Javon, like verbally after, losing because he messed up the finisher move, apologizing to Randy Orton on camera, saying, I'm sorry, that was my bad. And Randy be like, it's all right. I think this is what NXT is and what it should be. Not to say that NXT is developmental, but this is where all the young kids are coming in and they're going to learn. Like, they're going to be put to the fire, and this is where they learn. So now, this is not a conversation for this time, but this is a conversation for later. Some of you weirdos on the internet need to kind of like just pause, as Nikita Lyon says, touch some grass. Because I saw a couple folks go really hard on Javon, and I get he made a mistake. But then you made it about something that it wasn't. So for those of you weirdos who are making it more than it should be, especially because of Javon's skin color, that's not okay with me. So I just have to put that out there. So this match was fine.
I honestly didn't know anything about that. Yeah, I thought this match was great. And then anytime somebody from the main roster goes to NXT, they're going to get W. Jay Lee beat Bailey. Or she tagged with Bailey. CM Punk tagged with Seth Rollins, and they won their match. I mean, this is typically what happens. Main roster person goes to goes to NXT. It's kind of like a way to tap that person to tell them that they're on the fast track. And whether people like it or not, whatever they have an issue with Javon or not, Orton doesn't go down there and work just anybody. There's a reason that WWE picked Javon. That means Javon is moving up quicker than we think. I would pay close attention to his trajectory from here on out, because working with Orton now, that's not this isn't like a regular mistake. This was like an accident. That's all this was. Like, he was supposed to rotate around like that. It had to be landed perfectly. Like, what did he do? Like a 360, and he was supposed to do a 360 into an RKO. Anybody who's bitching about it, you do it. You do it. Show me that right now. Jump off a chair from your dining room and do it to spin on your bed. You're not going to land perfect. Get the fuck out of here. That's a really hard thing, and I get it. He's super athletic, but get out of here, man. You know how hard it is to do something like that and to land perfectly into Randy Orton's arm so that way he can give you the cutter? Come on. I think people they want perfection, and they forget. I forget who said it recently, but NXT is the NCAA football to the NFL. These are young kids that are, learning how to do this, how to be put in the proper position, and they'll be fine. But like I said, I would definitely pay attention to Javon. Every single time that someone has worked with a main roster talent in the history of NXT, that person has been fast-tracked to the main roster.
Absolutely. Well, the last bit of business here is that as this match is kind of going, as Randy's celebrating, we cut backstage where we have Ava with Wesley and Ethan Page. Ethan comes in to complain. Ava talks to both of them, and this ultimately settles what's probably going to main event next week's show, we're getting a triple threat match where the winner becomes #1 contender and will face Trick Williams for the NXT Championship at Halloween Havoc. So it's going to be Ethan Page versus Wes Lee versus Javon Evans. And I'm actually excited because for me personally, I am excited by any of those three. I'm more interested to see if Wes wins or he doesn't, because that's who I'm keeping my eye on. Ethan is fine. Him and Trick can have a forever feud, and I'm okay with it. But I'm keeping my eye on Wes to see where we end up going with him, because I feel that for me, as someone who loves Wes, I think it's about time for him to get this championship at some point. So, but who knows? We'll see. Bianca didn't win the women's NXT championship, and she's making it big on main roster. So we'll see what has in store. But that is going to be it for us here. So last thing we got to do, Macho, is we got to give our empanada rating. So I'm going to let you go first for this particular episode of NXT. On a scale of 10 empanadas, what do you rate this episode?
I'm going to give it an 8.5. I'm going to give it an 8. And then I ate the other half of the pizza empanada, like, you know what I mean? But then I had too much like frosty, like, you know, my slushy, and it was just kind of one of those things. The reason that I'm giving it an 8.5 instead of a 9 is because that tag match really underwhelmed me. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it was. I just watched this match and I felt like I had seen it a lot. Like, maybe not from these 4 superstars, but just the sequence of events, the way it worked and everything. And I was like, I feel like I've watched this style match, these competitors work each other a lot, and it wasn't for me. But everything else in the show, I really enjoyed. There wasn't a single moment, even the sexy red thing, because like I said, it was saved by Ethan. And the ending, knowing that we're going to have Javon just had this huge match. He was put over massively. You don't need to win a match to be put over. Let's remember that, people. And yeah, he got put over huge by Randy Orton. We got Wes Lee, who just had a massive win, and Ethan Page, who, well, he's due his rematch. So of course he's going to get this match. So I enjoy it. I enjoyed the show.
I agree with you. I'm also going to give this a strong 8.5 for similar reasons, but also too, I felt that the action was a lot of fun, though there were some bits and moments that I was like, not sure about that, but it was still pretty good. If you pair this episode with last week, I think we're off to a really strong start for NXT. And now I'm excited to continue to come back every week to see what NXT is about to do, as the road to Halloween Havoc is now officially upon us. So this is going to be fantastic. All righty. Well, folks, we got to get up on out of here because one of us has to eat dinner, because in about an hour or so, I will be back on the internet reviewing Lucha Libre, which makes me super excited. But we got to get up on out of here. But for myself and Macho, whom I'm super excited to be my partner in crime for NXT, and the rest of the BC Wrestle Pod boys, and Alice, who is our HR. Love you, Alice. Remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, but more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll catch you next week for another episode of NXT. But until then, sayonara, adios, and we'll catch you later.